Hi guys, I'm David and this is Jeanette. Together we are Low Range 4x4 Adventures. For the last few years we have been doing some epic trips to amazing locations across Australia. Subscribe and like our videos and hit the notification bell to join us on our adventures. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram.
Cloncurry is situated on Overlander Way, 770 kilometres west of Townsville. In 1861, Burke and Wills passed just west of where the town is now located. Burke named the Cloncurry River after his cousin, Lady Elizabeth Cloncurry. The town was surveyed in 1876 and named after the river, after Ernest Henry established the Great Australian Mine. He came to the area in May 1867 looking for good grazing land, but instead found copper. The mine still exists today. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In this episode, we're going to take you for a tour and explore some of the town's history.
Guys, I'm just pulled up on the in a parking bay. It's opposite the Oasis Caravan Park, which is where we're staying. So this is a really big area for caravans, so you can fill up your potable water here, and there's also a dump point, so really good area. It's located right next door to the Mary Kathleen Museum, which we're going to see shortly.
So we're just wandering into the Mary Kathleen Museum part of it and Visitor Information Centre here in Cloncurry. This is the old police station from Una, which was the original building that they used for the museum and now they've got this lovely big new building now. All the displays down here of some old machinery and so on and so forth. I believe down in that building down there is they've got like an old Ford ambulance which was set up to run on railway tracks. So there guys, this is the little shed with the fancy Ford V8 ambulance in it. So she was designed to run on the rails so they could get ambulance transport from here back through to the east. For 20 years there's no ambulance here. 1954 they built this Ford V8 road ambulance and made it into so it would run on the rails. So we're just heading into the information centre now. Got a lot of info in here, so we'd have a bit of a look around, but we won't spoil too much of it for you guys. So this is the museum at the visitor centre at Cloncurry. It's got some Burke and Wills history. It's got Mary Kathleen history, which is the uranium mine between here, or where the uranium mine was between here and Mount Isa, and a whole heap of Burke and Wills stuff, Mary Kay stuff. They also have some movies, old movies about the town history and Mary Kathleen and stuff, so it's quite interesting. You guys come and have a look yourselves when you get up this way.
These guys travelling with kids, there's a nice playground here, big shady area, established by the Lions Club. So, there's a bowl for your dog's drinking water. Looks really well set up. Sink and barbecues. So, obviously no camping here. There's signs up everywhere, but good place to stop for lunch and have a break.
Jeanette, being the fitness fanatic that she is, she's always got to get on everything that looks like something fitness related. So, which is nice because she keeps pretty fit. How many pull-ups can she do?
Probably not many.
What do you reckon? Can we do 3? Look at them guns. Smashing them guns. What else have they got here? Oh, look at it.
I've joined the gym here.
So you lift, that's pretty cool. You're actually pulling down and lifting your own weight, so, which is interesting. You could do that a few different ways.
Oh, I'm probably not doing this right. Not quite sure. Do push-ups. Those ones. There is instructions. Those people who like to read the manual.
RTFM, as I always say. If you want to work out what that is, it's read the manual.
That's enough. I'm actually going to go and do a bit of a tour of the cemeteries. Not big on cemeteries, but it's quite interesting. There's actually 4 cemeteries in Cloncurry. There's a Chinese cemetery, an Afghan cemetery, the old Cloncurry cemetery, and I guess the current one, which has a lot of old graves as well. So just going to take a quick whiz around. I'll be honest, I did try and do this a couple of weeks ago and got really depressed because cemeteries are sad. So I'm going to redo it today, and yeah, well, because I do think it's interesting, but I just won't dwell on the graves that are there. So the first cemetery we're going to visit is the Chinese cemetery. It's located beside the highway. You turn off to the right when you're heading towards Mount Isa, and then come under the bridge that's sort of heading out of town. There's approximately 60 people buried here, but sadly there's only a couple of marked graves, so they do have quite a lot of information, the names of people that are buried here. The first one was Tin Gui. The date of death was the 27th of March 1887. And the last one, Sang Chong, he was 74, and he was passed away on the 18th of February 1953. So they were cooks, gardeners, storekeepers. I believe they came out here during the gold rush, and I guess when they didn't make any money out of gold, they got normal jobs. So we'll just go for a bit of a walk around. I hope I'm not stepping on anyone. We'll go and look at the main grave here. So this is really the only marked grave here, and this is the grave of Mr. Liang Wang, 1914, hometown of Bao'an. So the second cemetery that I'm visiting today is the Cloncurry Cemetery. It was established in 1885 and was the town's main cemetery until 1982. So there's over 2,400 burials that date back to the 1880s. This is a grave of Mary O'Toole. Mary was the first school teacher in Cloncurry. She died on the 12th of February 1899 from heat exhaustion. So there is a grave beside Mary's of Queenie Lucinda O'Toole, died the 28th of March 1921, aged 2 years. So I don't know if Queenie was a granddaughter or something like that, so I haven't found any information on her, but pretty sad. This is the grave of Dame Mary Gilmore. So she's actually the lady on the $10 note. Mary was quite the trailblazer. Her works covered nationalism, the spirit of the pioneering, motherhood, women's rights, history, Aboriginal welfare, treatment of prisoners, health and pensions. So she was a poet and a writer. I believe she worked for a newspaper, I read somewhere. So as I said, her ashes were buried with her husband's grave, and yeah, this is her resting place. So in the northwest section of the cemetery, there's the Afghan cemetery. It contains the graves of the Afghan camel drivers and a priest. So as you can see, there's only a couple of graves that are actually marked. The priest, Sirid Omar, he is the only marked grave in the cemetery. So he passed away when he was 45 years on the 4th of July 1915. Cloncurry was Queensland's largest Ghan town in the late 1890s and early 1900s. It's estimated there were more than 200 cameleers and 2,000 camels. Pretty simple headstone. Nellie Edwards died 27th of October 1936. RIP. Okay, so this is the fourth and final cemetery. This was the original Cloncurry cemetery from the town's early days. It's not known how many people are buried here. So there is actually some names of some of the people that are buried here. So they date from, it's like 1879 to 1888. So this is the grave of Peter Eardley, the beloved husband of Kate Gardley. Died November 9th, 1886, aged 36 years. So young. May the soul of the departed rest in peace. Interesting that Peter Eardley is the brother of Mary Ellen, the first school teacher who was buried at the other cemetery. Off to the Cloncurry races at the Turf Club. I'm super excited because I've never really been to the races, just a couple of times. So yeah, I think I'm actually wearing the same dress to these races that I wore to the last races I went to, but that's okay. It's yeah, it should be fun.
You can't carry too much clothing when you go travelling around Australia.
Yeah.
There's no room.
So, but it's girls, it's always good to have a pair of heels and a good dress for occasions like today. So the next place we're going to visit, guys, is the John Flynn Museum and Art Gallery. So John Flynn was one of the men responsible for starting the Royal Flying Doctors Service. Back in, I will tell you once I get to the sign. So it began as an aerial medical service, originally founded in 1928. The service was a vision of Reverend John Flynn. So let's go and have a look through the museum. I think there's some pretty cool stuff here.
Hey guys, well, welcome to the John Flynn Museum. We're having a bit of a look around through here today. So starts in the foyer area, and we've come in, and it's basically a spiral building, and you've got a lot of information about John Flynn and his life, right from when he was a young man through to him being the main feature on the $20 note. So he started the Royal Flying Doctors Service, and there's a lot of stuff in here, so I'm just going to have a bit of a breeze around with you guys so you can have a look, and you can come back yourself or come here yourself and have a good look around. I'll grab a few bits and pieces as we go. Up on the second floor now, it's a bit of an art gallery up here and some old artefacts. Most of the art gallery's upstairs here. Nice artworks. A bit of memorabilia. And again through this spiral labyrinth. And then down into the radio gallery. It's got information about all the various doctors and nurses and pilots and everything over the early years. And then down here we've got the radio gallery, so a lot more information about the radio side of the Royal Flying Doctors down in here. So you guys have got to get here and have a check this place out. It's another one of the cool things around Cloncurry you can look at. The final section is the obligatory gift shop and the lovely lady behind the counter who tells you about everything that's here. So, great place. Come check it out.